Hey, everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. I didn't think I'd be continually doing Cleveland Cavaliers videos, but here we are in mourning the separation, like the grief, like what is it, the stages of grief after like you go through. I don't even know where we're at in Cleveland, but I've been seeing a lot of social media content. I've been going back with a couple people on my Twitter profile. You see the Twitter handles up there in the upper left hand corner of your screen. So now, like we talked about LeBron, we've talked about Donovan Mitchell. Like we'll have to probably revisit Darius Garland or Jared Allen. I may have to go back to LeBron because it seems like everybody wants him there. Now we're to the portion of the discussion because it's literally we have to run through the entire core four. Evan Mobley, who was the defensive player of the year this year, had his best offensive year, clearly unlocked something. But now the question being proposed by Cleveland Sports Radio and a bunch of people on the internet, would you trade Evan Mobley for Giannis Antetokounmpo? This seems like an easy question to answer. In theory, Giannis is 30 years old, in the prime of his career, one of the best players in the NBA, consistently just as dominant as there is, and still one of the best players in basketball. I would not trade Evan Mobley for him. And some people are just going to go, Mike, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, first of all, under these circumstances that we're talking about, you're talking about putting Giannis Antetokounmpo right next to Jared Allen, two big guys who can't shoot. The Cavs could not generate any fucking offense in the postseason. And yes, Giannis is a tougher guy, more physical than Evan Mobley. And yes, Evan Mobley's like 7 years younger. This fear that Evan Mobley isn't going to become something after he just won the Defensive Player of the Year. This is weird, man. Like, I don't get why we're just already just to panic and like this is a colossal failure and we need to fire everybody. I'm sure there's some idiots who want to fire Kenny Atkinson, which is dumb, but you want to trade this guy, you want to trade Donovan Mitchell, you want to retroactively go back 3 years ago and not make that trade. You want to change everything because they won 64 games and lost in 5 games to a really good Indiana Pacers team. I think we're being entirely disrespectful to Indiana too, because to act like that was a real 4 seed is ridiculous. They are a hard team to play. They play fast. They play like unlike any team in the NBA. The Cavs were not ready for it. That is on the Cavs. But to act like Indiana is this bum team that didn't go to the conference finals last year, that didn't have one of the top 5 records in the NBA since January 1st, and that's your reason to just blow this whole thing up because all the same things that happened last year happened this year, and they blew up in spectacular fashion. I get it. Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of the best players in the NBA, but if you take away the 2021 championship, this guy has been a playoff underachiever. They went to the conference finals in 2019, and that is it. That is it. That is all that he has done. You take away that championship year, they've been out in the second round. They've had multiple first round exits. Heck, I think they've had three consecutive first round playoff exits. They had the second round playoff exit in 2022 after the title year, where they blew a 3-2 lead, had a chance to close out at home in Game 6, lost to Boston. Boston ended up going to the finals that year. 2023, they were the 1 seed, and they lost to the Miami Heat, an 8 seed Miami Heat, who ended up going to the NBA Finals, but still, you lost to the Miami. And that was in 5 games. That was an even bigger failure than this Cavs team. And in the last 2 years, I understand that he hasn't had some of his guys there. Chris Middleton was in and out of the lineup. Damian Lillard got hurt. But if you're so great and I understand that the Cavs still have Donovan Mitchell there, and that's a different thing. But I don't understand this affinity. Like, Giannis is going to go somewhere, and he could go potentially help somebody win a championship. But if you think trading Evan Mobley is going to solve this whole thing and solve this whole issue, first of all, it's not even going to happen. Because I think under salary cap restrictions, it's just not going to work from a feasible perspective. It's not going to happen. And I don't think Milwaukee's going to trade him in the division either, or in the conference. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'd be dumb to do that. But we're going through all of these means of like why we're mad about shit. I get it. Evan Mobley did not play his best for most of that series. He was also injured, and this was really the first year we saw what he could become. And he's got a 3-point shot. He can handle the ball. He can spread the floor. I get it. Giannis is an unstoppable player in the prime of his career, but he's also been a playoff underachiever. He also has. So, what are you solving here? I don't understand why we just have to retroactively change things. Again, if I was in that front office and I could trade somebody off this team, it would Jared Allen would be at the top of the list because he's got an affordable contract. He is a good player. It's not working. It's not meshing with this team. I would try to trade Jared Allen. That would be the guy that I would go to. Darius Garland would be, I wouldn't say a close second, but he would be second on that list. Then I would probably go, I mean, Donovan Mitchell's not getting traded, so out of the core four, he's the least likely. Evan Mobley is like right up there with him. I get the consideration of why you'd want to do it for Giannis because of, the accolades and everything, and he's been a multiple-time MVP. But again, this guy has not been out of the first round in 3 years as the cornerstone of his team. And, the Cavs, like you're talking about, hey, spacing and stuff in terms of shooting, they couldn't do anything right this year with the stuff that they had. You think it's going to get better when you have two non-shooting bigs in the game? Like, I don't get you people, man. Like, it's just like we're trying to figure out what's wrong with this whole thing. The first among many things is they can't really do a whole hell of a lot of much because of being a second apron team. But the other thing is trying to, not stick with the whole thing. And because look at what's happened with teams that have been patient. Boston they could have easily moved off of Tatum and Brown. And as much as I don't like Boston, they won a championship last year. Sometimes you got to be patient. And I think, maybe this is like what the new NBA wants. They want these teams to stick together, and they want it to, them to make teams to make hard decisions. But it's just like, if you guys want to try and keep microwaving championships and just like, taking the quick fix, it's like, that's not going to solve anything. Yeah, they weren't tough in this series. They met their match against Indiana. Also, Indiana's a really good team. So maybe assess how you can beat Indiana and how you could potentially win the Eastern Conference next year when, Indiana is going to presumably be together, although they may have to make some tough decisions with their cap sheet. The Knicks are going to be around. The Celtics, we don't know what the hell they're going to look like. Milwaukee may trade Giannis. Miami's in flux, Brooklyn. I mean, I'm spitballing teams. Atlanta's been at the bottom. Chicago can't figure out what they are. The East is wide open. Running it back is not the worst idea in the world. I get why people want to move off of it, but it's just like this idea that, the core four needs to be disbanded. There were some unique circumstances, but yeah, they got punked. But maybe this is about self-reflection and trying to grow as a team and maybe get better. Because I know exactly what the discussion is going to be in Oklahoma City if they lose. Because if they lose, that's a second straight second round exit for them. And, they've got a bunch of young dudes on their roster. So the Cavs have veterans on their team. It's just, I don't think that Giannis Antetokounmpo, if they were going to make the move, I totally get it from a player to player perspective, but from a scheme perspective, it's like, okay, your offense completely changes the dynamic. It's just like, I don't understand this. I really don't get you people sometimes. But you know what? Call me an idiot, whatever. I don't really care. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Bye.